Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your September the 20th just for today in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. The title of today's meditation is Courage to Change. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Serenity prayer. Recovery involves change, and change means doing things differently. The problem is, many of us resist doing things differently. What we're doing may not be working, but at least we're familiar with it. It takes courage to step out into the unknown. How do we find the courage? We can look around ourselves at NA meetings. There we see others who found they needed to change what they were doing and who've done so successfully. Not only does that help quiet our fear that change, any change, spells disaster, it also gives us the benefit of their experience with what does work, experience we can use in changing what doesn't. We can also look at our own recovery experience. Even if that experience so far has been limited to stopping the use of drugs, still we have made many changes in our lives, changes for the good. Whatever aspects of our lives we have applied to the steps, have applied the steps to, we have always found surrender better than denial, recovery superior to addiction. Our own experience and the experience of others in NA tells us that changing the things I can is a big part of what recovery is all about. The steps and the power to practice them gives us the direction and courage we need to change. We have nothing to fear. Just for today, I welcome change. With the help of my higher power, I will find the courage to change the things I can. Beautiful meditation. Let's take a moment of silence and take the serenity prayer again together. Moment of silence now. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. We rattle off the serenity prayer, and sometimes we actually meditate upon it as we're saying it. And we oftentimes, when we do that, we have this epiphany in the midst of saying it. Wow, I have really been trying to change things that I can't change. I haven't had the wisdom to know the difference. And as a result, I haven't had the serenity that comes along with accepting the things that I cannot change. I've been like a bull in a china shop, right? Trying to effecate change. And so changing the things I can is a big piece of your serenity, right? It's a big piece of not doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. Change is important. And a lot of times we don't welcome change. I know I don't welcome change because change brings with it a whole other ball of wax that has to go with it. Okay, so I'm gonna change my eating habits. Well, that requires refusing to use the things that I've purchased that weren't healthy, or giving them away or throwing them away, or just use them up till they're gone and then committing myself to in the future, let's buy healthier things. Instead of chips, let's buy miniature carrots, right? Or pickles, or it requires an adjustment. And if we're talking about eating better, if you're not, we have apples in the backyard. We have a ton of golden, delicious apples that we need to go get, right? And bring in the house. We've bagged tons of grapes, right? But this year, that's our only produce. So if you actually are not growing something in your own home or garden, sometimes going to purchase those things require what? More money, healthier things. So that's just one example that I personally can think of. I can change the way that I eat. A lot of times I don't want to go with the change because it has other things that it requires that maybe I'm not ready for. But that doesn't mean just because I'm not ready per se, does not mean that there are things I can't change. So there's resistance with change, but it's something that I embrace. And with the help of God, I get the courage to change the things I can. And I have every belief, every faith that you will also receive the courage to change the things that you can. There's a lot more peace on the other side of that than constantly going around on this wheel of doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So we need the wisdom, but a lot of times we need honesty too. We need to honestly assess what we can do and not use other people as an escape, right? Well, I'm not doing this because so and so won't show up on time, or I had a workout partner, but they don't show up and they know I need an accountability partner to get to the gym. Okay, but that is still within your realm of ability to change. But sometimes it's just so much easier to place blame. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose. I look forward to talking to you soon.